All right. So the NBA season starting soon. Actually, it's starting tomorrow, but we got ranking all 30 NBA teams. So the teams that I rapping this season, I'm not switching up. I'm not switching up on my teams. This is the teams that I'm rapping, and there's only two teams: Chicago Bulls and Houston Rockets. That's my team for the 2025-2026 NBA season. Not switching up on nobody. Those are my teams. Both of those teams could lose every single game, and it will still be with our team. Those are my team: the Houston Rockets, Chicago Bulls. So I want to see how he rank these teams. I want to do my own ranking too. I want give my own opinion on which teams I think will do well. Yeah, so let me see what's going on.
The stage has been set for the 2026 NBA season. From generational talents to aging legends, from champions to rebuilding young cores, this league truly has it all right now. But what can we expect to see from each team, and who has a real chance to win a championship? I've spent the last month doing detailed.
If I had to choose who will win the championship, I got two picks. I think it's either I think the Thunder could repeat, or the Denver Nuggets could win the championship. Dude. That's my two picks. Even though I'm a Rockets fan, I don't think we got it yet. Like at least next year. I think we could make the conference finals though, but not this year. I don't think it's this year, especially with Fred VanVleet out. It might not be this year. But if we make championship or make finals, that's good too. But I don't think we're gonna do it this year.
Breakdowns on every single team, looking at what worked last season and what didn't, what moves were made over the summer, and what we can expect in this upcoming season. That meant taking a microscope into each team's offense and defense, their potential rotation, and giving them grades based on how I think they stack up against the rest of the league. The individual videos go a lot more in depth, so if you're looking for specifics on any one team, I'd suggest you go check those out. I like to think of this as a series finale, applying everything I've researched and learned about each team and now putting them into a ranking. But there are so many different ways to go about ranking teams. You could go by which teams have the highest floor or the highest ceiling, you could go by which teams are the best at full health, or who's got the best track record when it comes to injuries. I want to be clear in saying that my personal rankings are strictly about determining which teams I think have the best chance to win a championship. A ton of factors go into that, like durability, what conference you play in, where I think you'll end up in the playoff bracket, and what a path to the finals would look like. Primarily, it's about the quality of a team on both sides of the ball come playoff time. How efficient is the offense, and how can it adjust to different schemes? How strong is the defense, and how can it counter different types of offenses? Ultimately answering the question, who are the best and most versatile teams on both ends of the floor? Before we get into that, I want to give a huge shout out to Factor for sponsoring this video because this 31-day series wouldn't be possible without them. Between the time it takes to research each team and produce these videos while balancing I broke each group up into tiers to get a better idea on where I think they stand. The weakest of those tiers is of course the lottery teams. This is where you'll
Lottery. I was about to say it. He beat me to it. So the lottery demons. I look about right. The Jazz, the Hornets. I don't know why, but I feel like I got a little faith in the Hornets this year. The Eastern Conference not that good anyways. I feel like they could make the conference, not the conference finals. I feel like they could make at least like the 10th seed, at least. At least that was their ceiling to me. That was only a 10th seed.
find rebuilds like the Jazz, Hornets, Nets, and Wizards. Whether it's due to a lack of talent, a commitment to building for the future, or just youth, I have a hard time seeing any, whether it's due to teams. This is where you'll find
Jazz. I don't even know who's on the Jazz. Like, I feel like the Utah Jazz is the team that's built for failure. Like I don't think Utah Jazz will ever win a game or win a championship ever. They could go to the finals. They could go to I don't care. I don't ever think Utah Jazz just don't got the aura of a winning team. And the Brooklyn Nets, I think that's balling out there. They're just doing whatever. Since KD, Kyrie, and James Harden left today, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that team. And the Wizards, I don't know who is on that team. I don't know who's on the Wizards. And Jordan Poole is on the Pelicans now, so I don't know. I don't know if Kyle Kuzma on the Bucks, so they don't got nobody. So yeah, that's about right. But I think the Hornets can make the play though.
rebuilds like the Jazz, Hornets, Nets, and Wizards. Whether it's due to a lack of talent, a commitment to building for the future, or just youth, I have a hard time seeing any of these teams winning 30 games. Although I will say the Jazz probably have the ability to do so, I just think they're more focused on retooling than winning right now. As for my next tier, these are the play-in hopeful teams, and the first I've got in there is the Bulls.
That was my team right there. I hope we don't make the play though. I don't want to be in the play. I want to start rebuilding. We got Matas Buzelis. He looking good. He was balling in the preseason. I wasn't watching a lot of preseason, but Matas Buzelis was balling. He had like multiple 20-point. He's the next to blow up. He's the next star. So let's go up to the moon. He probably gonna be most improved player candidate. That's my prediction. He's the most improved player candidate. He is gonna be up there.
They've got an interesting group of young talent, but are still a very weak defense with clear offensive limitations. I'd rather see them drop into the lottery tier and aim for a top pick, but we...
Me too. I would rather see that. I gotta research this draft class. I don't know who in the draft class, to be honest.
know how...
But at least we got Cooper Fly Jr., Matas Buzelis. He might even be better.
Offensive limitations. I'd rather see them drop into the lottery tier and aim for a top pick, but we know how Chicago loves to compete for that play-in spot. The next team I've got in this group is the Phoenix Suns.
The Phoenix Suns did. Devin Booker's so dirty. His whole career was just stuck in purgatory. This man had Chris Paul and the DeAndre Ayton teams. Went to the finals, got destroyed by Giannis. Got KD, couldn't do nothing. Got Bradley Beal, couldn't I feel bad for Devin Booker, but I don't think he even cares about winning at this point. He does coasting for the rest of his career, enjoying the NBA, enjoying his money. I doubt he cares. I saw a video with him with his host. He has a bunch of cars, a big TV. And in Phoenix, he is good. He don't want to go to any other team. I don't think he cares about winning anymore, and I don't blame him. His whole career, he was trying to win. He finally did it with Chris. He almost did it with Chris Paul. DeAndre Ayton, I think that he's done. He's done. I don't think he cares anymore.
The roster has a nice combination of young talent and proven impact veterans. It's also filled with raw players who need time to develop, and I don't think they have the resources to field strong two-way lineups in a stacked West. That's also part of the reason why I've got the Pelicans in this tier. They've got
the Pelicans, huh? Look how skinny Zion looks.
Lots
so
of
weird.
offensive potential.
Look how skinny Zion. No, wait, dog. This is the one thing that I believe in skinny Zion this time, though. The last things people were talking about, he was skinny or losing weight. He was still kind of fat, to be honest, but he looked actually skinny. He don't even look like a power forward anymore. Actually, he does, but he looked like a smaller power forward. Like, he don't even look like the Zion out of a truck. You don't. That's Gatsby Basket Will. He looks like Christian Wood. He looked so different, and I like it. I think they could get like a 7 seed AFC. I have faith in the Pelicans this year.
And Zion looks amazing, but the defense leaves a lot to be desired at pretty much every position, and it's hard to bet on a team whose entire core has a long history of injuries. This next one might come as a bit of a shock, and that's the Celtics. They're one of the teams who...
Yeah, I think the Celtics could go to playing. They the Eastern Conference kind of trash. I think, and they already got a Jaylen Brown. I think they got a Jaylen Brown still. I don't think he's injured, but I think they can make it playing because the East is kind of bad. If Philadelphia comes back, the Raptors, they could be in there. The Hornets, it could be there, but yeah, the Celtics got a decent like Jaylen Brown. I'm interested to see a Jaylen Brown led Celtics. I'm interested. They don't got Kristaps Porzingis anymore. He on the Hawks, no? Kristaps Porzingis stay on the Celtics was so sharp, but at least he got a championship though. At least he was only on the Celtics for like 3 years. Like damn. I can't remember. He went to he got drafted to the Mavericks and went somewhere else. No, he got drafted to the Knicks, I think. And then went to the Mavericks, and then went somewhere else. I can't remember where else. I don't know if he went to the Mavericks, to the Celtics. I don't think so, though. I can't remember where he was at, to be honest. But he's on the Hawks now.
I'm not entirely sure what to do with. As things currently stand, they've got tons of shooting talent and a really high offensive ceiling. That comes at the expense of a versatile defense spearheaded by maybe the weakest front court in the league. However, with a couple of moves and a return by Jason Tatum, they could easily jump a couple tiers into one of the best teams in the East.
I'm scared for Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum got like a season-ending injury. He is trying. He is trying to come back. He is trying hard. He's talking about he want to come back this season. I saw him playing basketball already for a season-ending injury. Like I hold like that Kobe Mamba mentality hasn't went into his brain, and he thinks that he has to come back. You don't need to come back so fast. You could take your time, Jason. You don't need to be like Kobe. Be yourself. Be yourself, Jason.
East. The last team I've got in this group is the Blazers. The offensive talent.
I still can't believe Damian Lillard is back. So what was even the point of going to the Bucks? This man he build build a statue of Damian Lillard. Even though he didn't win, the amount of stress, poverty, that's bad basketball. You put Damian Lillard on the fans, you have to build a statue for Damian Lillard. But I'm so disappointed in the Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo duo. I really thought they were gonna dominate the East for years. Not really years, like at least 4 years of domination. They did not. I don't even think they made it out the first round. And I think it was only like 2 years together. I'm so disappointed.
Across the board is raw. They're still looking for a lead creator and scorer, and I think the lack of scoring punch limits their ceiling. From top to bottom, we're talking about just a ridiculous defensive roster, though. I wouldn't be surprised to see them finish the season as a top 7 defense, which gives them such a high regular season floor. After that, I think there's another jump in tiers to the playoff hopeful. These teams could still be in the play-in, but they're more of a lock, and they're looking to get to the first round. The first squad I've got in there is the Raptors. They've got tons of size.
They don't know much about the Raptors. They know they got Scotty and Brandon Ingram. I don't know much about this team, to be honest. I don't know much. But he said that they could make the playoffs. I don't think so. They don't look like a playoff team to me. But they weren't even in the play-in last year, I believe. I wasn't keeping up with the Raptors. I don't know what moves they made. So and they got RJ Barrett too. So I will trust your judgment. You're the NBA super fan. I'm a casual. I'm gonna trust you. But my prediction, I don't think that they can make the playoffs. And I don't think they would be a threat in the first round, to be honest.
In length and a versatile defensive roster with talented offensive players, so they should have a pretty decent floor. However, I think they really lack the half-court shot creation, outside shooting, and two-way depth to make any noise in the playoffs. The next team I've got in this group is the Kings. They're very talented.
What? The Kings are not going to the playoffs. You should put the Kings down in the play-in. I don't even think they can make the play-in. Like, what? Oh, where do you got the Kings so high? The Kings are the West. They're everybody that's causing the Western Chicago Bulls, and I don't even think that's true because the Chicago Bulls that we have right now aren't nothing like the Kings. Maybe they're the Western Chicago Bulls when the Bulls had the DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, but then no, that Chicago Bulls roster switch onto the Kings. I know they're the Chicago Bulls, so I don't believe in this team, dog. I don't think this team is so trash. I don't like this team, and I don't like Keegan Murray too. I don't think that he's that good. Zach LaVine, I never liked Zach LaVine. And then DeMar DeRozan, I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting tired of DeMar DeRozan mid-range game. He does all this mid-range stuff in the regular season, and then when the playoffs come, he don't be doing much. I don't believe in this team at all. I disagree with this.
On offense with too strong of a top 8 or 9 players to not be in the mix, but with a generally weak defense and a roster incapable of creating elite two-way lineups, they're limited to a first-round ceiling. That's kind of an inverse of how I feel about the Heat. Miami
Not gonna lie.
lineups, they're limited to a first-round ceiling. That's kind of an inverse of how
I'm surprised you didn't put Miami in play-in hopeful or lottery demons. I don't believe in this team either. Like these 3 teams, the Raptors, the Kings, and the Heat, I don't believe in none of them. I honestly don't believe in any of these teams. I'm interested to see how my predictions are gonna go at the end of the season, but I don't believe in any of these teams. If I had to switch out teams that are in playoff hopeful, and switch them to playing hopeful, I would move the Pelicans up to playoff hopeful. I would move the I would switch out the Pelicans for the Heat. But I think the rest is the Kings though. Nah, I'm not switching out anybody. I would put the Kings and the Raptors in playing hopeful too. I don't need to switch out anybody. The Kings and the Raptors playing hopeful. I will move the Pelicans up to playoff hopeful. If Zion is that generational talent that we think he is, and if he could stay healthy, and if he could stay healthy, and he's looking actually slim, I think that they could make the playoffs. I trust them more than those three teams in the playoff hopeful. I don't trust any of these teams. I don't trust the DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine team. Toronto Raptors is a good young team, but I don't really think that they're there yet. And then the Heat, that's a bunch of role players that's balling. They're kind of like they might be as I don't want, they might be as bad as the Washington Wizards. I might just say I don't think they're making the play in at all. But I do. Let me see what you gotta say.
I feel about the Heat. Miami's got an awesome, versatile defense that can go to a wide array of schemes and lineups. However, they really lack the ball handling, playmaking, and overall shot creation to produce a good playoff offense, so although I think they're a lock for the play-in, I can't really see them making the second round. That's slightly different from how I feel about the Pacers.
Yeah, I believe in Pacers. To be honest, like I don't think they need Tyrese Halliburton to make the playoffs. But they lost Miles Turner. Miles Turner on the Bucks, not right. I don't. I think they can make the playoffs. First round, yes, the first round, but the second round, mm, in the Eastern Conference, it depends on the matchup. I think they could make. I think they could make the playoffs. So that was the first one I agree with.
While they don't have the interior defense Miami does, they're still a very versatile defensive team that should be able to contain the ball extremely well. Like the Heat though, they also lack perimeter shot creation without Halliburton, and I think the three-point shooting could be a problem in certain lineups. The difference for me is that their offense is a lot more flexible, with more reliable ball handlers and isolation scorers, as well as lots of pace, so I think they could sneak into the second round. Within this same tier, I'd say there's a slight jump in quality, but because these teams play in the West, it's a similar sort of floor and ceiling come playoff time. This is where I've got the Spurs. They're
Dylan Harper and Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, they are gonna run the league. I don't know how the Spurs just keep getting dynasties that's falling into their lap. The Spurs just keep getting dynasties. I This is gonna be a big year for Wemby. I think this is gonna he already a star, but I think this is gonna be a breakout year for the Spurs as a whole. The Spurs are gonna go crazy this year. I have so much faith in the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama training with Monks, and he training with Hakeem Olajuwon. Oh my gosh, he is gonna. This is the Victor Wembanyama the next goal. We are watching a goal in the making. Victor Wembanyama, you got it. Everybody in the West that's there about Victor Wembanyama is coming for the court title. I think I don't think the Spurs could make the first. I don't think they could make the second round, but they could make the first round, and I think they could do a good 7 game series. I think so.
current roster has tons of offensive versatility, elite interior defense, and of course Victor Wembanyama. But they're still a young and pretty raw team. They don't have the greatest shooters, and still don't have the wing depth to field out elite two-way lineups, even though Wemby gives them such a high floor. I think they're a problem. I just think it's a couple years early, so I don't see them as a second round threat just yet. And think they're a problem.
You saw that push? You saw that push? Let's move out the way. He playing like shot. He playing like shot, and then he got guard skills. Victor Wembanyama is crazy. He is the future goal. If not, if he don't become a goal, he at least top three behind Michael Jordan and LeBron.
I just think it's a couple years early, so I don't see them as a second round threat just yet. In a similar line of thinking, the Grizzlies to me are
The Grizzlies last year was so disappointing. They kind of sneak into the playoffs. I can't remember who they played though. I can't remember who they played the playing, but I know they played the Thunder and got destroyed. I don't know how to feel about the Grizzlies. I like Ja Morant though. I think Ja Morant could do. I think Ja Morant could do good, but I think they're a playing team. But playing hopeful and playoff hopeful the teams that are making the playing hopeful are teams that are hoping to make the play. playoff football are teams that are indie playing, lot free playing, and hoping to make the playoffs. Playing football are teams that are hoping to make the play and might be in the lottery. So the Grizzlies as a playing team, if we go by that logic, I think that's facts. But I would still put the Pelicans up there. I would bring down the Heat, the Kings, the Raptors. Nah, I think the Raptors could be a playing team. Now I would keep the Raptors. I would keep the Raptors and the Heat just because they're in the Eastern Conference. They don't got much competition. But I would bring down the Kings. I don't got faith in the Kings at all. I would bring down the Kings to playing hopeful. I don't think they could make the playoffs, to be honest. Even the playing, I think they will struggle. I don't ever think they made the playoffs the playing last year. I think they played the Mavericks. I think, but I think LA this list though. I would just put on the Heat, and not the Heat, the Kings, and bring out the Pelicans. So let's replace the Kings and the Pelicans.
Stuck in this group.
I think the Pelicans is a better team than the Kings, to be honest.
They've got offensive and defensive talent. It just simply doesn't mesh into one rotation that's capable of being versatile on both sides of the ball. Along with the injuries they've had and continue to have, I don't see them threatening any of the Western Conference home court teams. This next group of teams I'd say are very similar in quality to the Grizzlies and the Spurs. However, they all play in the East, so the ceiling is a lot higher. I view these as teams who are capable of making a conference finals push but lack what it takes to get over that hump. The first of this group is the 76ers.
You think 76ers could make a conference finals push? So if you just describe possible playoff push as teams that can make a conference finals push, I don't agree. I think you need another another list between playoff waffle and possible playoff push because I think the 76ers could easily, if I think that even with Paul George, they have mad injuries last year. I think that if they just stay healthy, they could go to the easily get like a fourth seed, get to the second round. I don't think they're making conference finals.
At full strength, Philly's got absolutely ridiculous offensive potential with elite interior defense. That alone could get them to the top of this tier. But the backcourt defense and passing across the board are pretty obvious weak points, and between McCain's injury as well.
I forgot they got a VJ Edgecombe. I forgot they got a VJ Edgecombe. I forgot about that. I forgot that they got a VJ Edgecombe. He's gonna be so good. I forgot about VJ Edgecombe.
As the questions with Embiid, it's hard for me to get them much higher. The next team I've got in this group is the Bucks.
The Bucks, I agree. As long as you got Giannis, you could make conference finals.
Surrounding Giannis with shooters is a proven recipe for success, and they've done exactly that. I wouldn't be surprised if they won 50 games and he's an MVP candidate. However, they're another team that just seriously lacks versatility on both sides of the ball. They're sort of forced to play one way without the depth to field elite two-way lineups, so it's tough for me to see them competing with the top of the conference. Also in this group, I've got the Magic.
I don't hate it. The Magic were playing good against the Celtics last year. The Magic kind of boring to watch, but they play good against each other. They got good defense. They got Desmond Bain on. They got the Addison shooting. I like the Magic. I won't watch a full game from the Magic, but I will watch his highlights.
Their defense gives them such a high floor, and we've seen that. They're probably going to be the toughest playoff out of anyone we've talked about. But there are still so many offensive question marks in regards to pace, playmaking, spacing, and overall shot making that worry me deep in the playoffs against more intentional scheming. Next up is the Atlanta Hawks.
I like the Atlanta Hawks this year. I like Kristaps Porzingis, one of my favorite players in the league. I think him and Trae Young are going to go. I think Trae Young can make a conference finals run again. And I want Trae Young to play the Nets in the playoffs. That's so he could beat the Nets again. I don't like the Nets. I hate the Nets. I don't like the Nets. I'm gonna be hate watching the Nets this season. Nets fans, I hate your. I'm hate watching. I hope Trae Young destroys the Nets in the playoffs series. Right? I want a number 4 and number 5 first round matchup in the playoffs to be Hawks versus Nets. That would be so fun. I need Trae Young versus the Nets again. And Tyrese Halliburton, he scratched that itch of the Trae Young versus Trae Young versus Nets rivalry. Because the Pacers and the Nets are a rivalry now. So what Tyrese Halliburton did to the Nets was crazy. All those game energy was hitting. Yo, Terry Halliburton thank you so much. I will always let you as a player just because of you destroying Nets. But you not here this year, so Trae Young gotta step in and do it this time.
They're a team that checks all of the boxes in terms of versatility. They're big, they're athletic, they're deep, there's tons of variety in the offense and tons of variety in the defense. I just have two concerns. One is the shot creation outside of Trae. I think they could potentially get bottled up by an elite defense. Two is health. There's a long history of injuries on this squad, which is the main reason I have one team ahead of them in
I like the Pistons too. Okay, Cunningham is a stud. Okay, Cunningham. Okay, Cunningham gives me MVP vibes. Like, I think he could be an MVP candidate. At least top 5, top 10. I like the Pistons. They played the Nets last year. I think it was a 7-game series or 6. I like the Pistons. I think they can make the second round. Like, if they don't make the second round, they go into 7 games. They are a tough team. I like the Nets a lot.
this tier, and that's the Pistons. Even with Jaden Ivey
Whoa, I like the Pistons a lot. Oh my gosh. I like the Pistons. Don't make that mistake again. I don't like the Nets.
Ivy's injury.
The fact that they got a Nets as a higher tier than these teams, put the Nets in playoff hopeful. The Nets are trash. But no, 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 no. Now put them in lottery demons. Put the Nets in lottery demons. They are trash. I can't believe this. The Hawks are better than the Nets. The Magic are better than the Nets. And
Which is the main reason I have
the Pistons are better than the Nets. All three of these teams are better than the Nets. I think they will win in a playoff series against them.
one team ahead of them in this tier, and that's the Pistons. Even with Jaden Ivey's injury, I just think they're built for playoff basketball. They're big and athletic with a near flawless defense. Then over the summer, they added secondary ball handling and shooting to complement Cade, while still having lots of room for internal development within their young core. However, I still think spacing is a concern in most lineups, and I'm not sure about their ability to construct units that are elite on both offense and defense, which is often what's needed to get into my next tier. Now we're getting into the dark horse contender.
Dark horse contenders. These are the big dogs in the NBA. So I already know the Houston Rockets and the OKC Thunder aren't here. Let me see if I can recognize any of the. Oh, you put the Warriors in dark horse? Like that's released? Well, you no, bruh. The Warriors are not dark horse contenders. No way. So he has in dark horse contenders. He don't got the Clippers, so the Clippers are dark horse too. So let me see the first team. The Lakers are a dark horse contender. I want to hear your explanation of a dark horse contender. Did you explain
Which
it?
is often what's needed to get into my next tier. Now we're getting into the dark horse contenders, a tier that starts with the Lakers.
So he not explaining it. He described possible playoff push as teams that can make the conference finals. So dark horse contenders are teams that could win the championship, that have a chance. The Lakers don't have a chance. Like, the Lakers don't got a chance. Last year they got destroyed by the Timberwolves. No, no, no. They don't. They can't make the finals. I don't think so. This is a L tier. This is a L tier.
Within this tier, the Lakers break the mold of needing to construct lineups that are great on both offense and defense. That's because their offensive ceiling is so high, with the shot creation and shot making potential to outgun just about any team. The reason they don't break into a higher tier is because of all of their defensive concerns. Any lineup they construct around their core four is sacrificing a key quality, whether it's spacing, on-ball defense, or size. And I think you need
So we got a higher tier than this. So what? Playoff push was teams that can make the conference finals or late second round. This team should be in there. They should be in playoff push category.
lineup versatility to really pose a championship threat without everything breaking right. That's a test the Mavs passed with.
I forgot about the Mavericks. I like the Mavericks. I like Cooper Flag, Kyrie. I think they could make conference finals for real. And he did, yeah. The Mavericks are going to be good. I think the Mavericks giving me number one seed in the West West. But if OKC Thunder still are as good as last year, at least number two, I predict that the Mavericks will be at number two in the Western Conference.
Flying colors. Because of their size, length, and absolutely overwhelming defense, they've got unlimited lineup versatility. I actually think they'd be my pick right now for the second best defense in the NBA. The problem is, we don't know what Kyrie's gonna look like when he comes back, and even at full strength, there are quite a few question marks with the ball handling, overall shot creation, and spacing. My main concern, though, is what'll happen in the regular season. Because of injuries, I think they'll be fighting for a 7 or an 8 seed, and that likely means a team like OKC in round 1, making it difficult for me to see them making a push. From there, we're still in the same tier, but we're probably jumping up a small level.
I was basically, I agree with this pick. I think we're not like championship contenders, but we could get there. We could make a finals push. Like any team should be scared of the Houston Rockets. The defense, I think you saw what they did to the Warriors last year with Jalen Green dropping 4 points every not even every other game. He had one good game and dropped like single digits every single game. And the Rockets are going to be a problem even without Fred VanVleet. But I still don't like that the Warriors the Warriors are. Bro, I would put the Warriors in dark horse contender, not dark horse. I would put them in playoff football. They would love to be in the playoffs. They would pray to get in the playoffs. They're not going to the second round. The Warriors not going to the second round.
With the Rockets. I actually had them in my top 5 before the Van Vliet injury. I think what he brought as an offensive organizer, ball handler, and pull-up three-point threat was a huge part of their identity. And if Reed Shepherd's able to replace even 75% of that, I'm comfortable bumping them up. I just need to see it first. They check almost every other box you'd look for in a contender. Size, length, and athleticism, lineup versatility with an elite defense, and the shot making of Kevin Durant to push them over any hump. Unless you get a big leap from Şengün or Amen though, I do think variety in the half-court offense could be a concern, and I wouldn't be surprised if they really struggle with turnovers. The last team I've got in this group is the Timberwolves.
Yo, you are tweaking. Why are the Warriors? Why are the Warriors at the top tier? You gotta be a Warriors fan, huh? You gotta be a Warrior fan, huh? You are a Warrior fan. There's no way you have the Warriors in the highest tier. But I agree with the Timberwolves. I like the Timberwolves too. I think Average MVP candidate. But the Warriors are the highest tier?
And to me, it's just as simple as they didn't improve
No,
enough.
the Warriors not even better than the Timberwolves. The Warriors not better than the Rockets. I don't even think the Warriors are better than the Knicks. I don't even think the Warriors are better than the Lakers. The Warriors are trash. Come on.
From last year, if at all. It would take Ant taking another huge step forward or one of the young guys establishing themselves as a full-time starter to really move the needle. Without that, I think this is more or less the same team that's shown us a hard cap on their ceiling. A very strong defense that lacks the versatility to slow down the best of the best. A very strong offense that lacks the ability to break down high-end defenses.
Not gonna lie, that OKC Thunder arena with all the home court advantage and wearing the shirts. They got the best home court arena or home court advantage in the NBA. Like they might be the only team that their fans actually wear the clothes that the team picks out, so everybody could wear the same color and make the stands look like the team color. They're the only team that does it. They have the best home court advantage, even since the Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook days. I like the Thunder home court advantage, home court field, home arena, field, whatever.
As long as they're relying on Mike Conley to be their starting point guard for a deep playoff run, I just don't see anything more than a conference finals. That takes us into the heavier hitting tiers. These are the teams with a final ceiling.
This man, he think the Warriors have a final ceiling.
If everything breaks right, they'll find themselves playing in June, but for one reason or another, I'm not comfortable giving them the label of a top tier contender. The first team I've got in this group is the Knicks.
The Nets are not finals contenders, buddy. Let me check. The Bucks are better than the Nets. The Lakers are better than the Nets. The Mavericks are better than the Nets. The Rockets are better than the Nets. The Timberwolves are better than the Nets. So tell me why are they up there? Tell me why. Tell me why. No way. The Hawks are better than the Nets. This is so nah. And to think that the Warriors are going to be on this tier too. The Warriors are not finals contenders. I don't know what to tell you. Steph Curry is not helping. They got the same team from last year that barely lost to the Rockets that don't have anybody on the team. They almost lost to the Rockets that had Jalen Green dropping Seeing triple singles the entire series. Imagine, no, bro. The Warriors are trash.
I actually think you could argue a few of the teams in my last tier are better, but New York gets a boost because they play
I glad you realized that.
in the East where there's only one other team on their level. There's an argument that they're the best offense in the NBA. When you pair that with tons of defensive pieces and serious depth, the roots of a contender are there. However, with Brunson and Cat,
But you said that they're the best team compared to the Eastern Conference team.
giving them the label of a top tier contender. The first selves playing in June group is the
compared to the Eastern Conference teams. Alright, I could give you alright. Now that looking at the Eastern Conference teams, yeah, the Nets probably could go to the finals. They can. Yeah, if Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum were here, no, they're not going anywhere. I want Joel. Yeah, I would rather Joel Embiid go to the finals than the Nets, to be honest. I hope Joel Embiid, Paul George, VJ Escon, Terry Maxey could do something this year.
Knicks. I actually think you could argue a few of the teams in my last tier are better, but New York gets a boost because they play in the East where there's only one other team on their level. There's an argument that they're the best offense in the NBA. When you pair that with tons of defensive pieces and serious depth, the roots of a contender are there. However, with Brunson and Cat on the floor together, they lack the versatility to field elite two-way lineups, which is a small gripe that I think holds them back from the top tier. The next team I've got in this group is the Warriors.
The Warriors are not a finals contender. The Warriors are not a finals contender. The Timberwolves are better. I'm only doing Western Conference teams. The Timberwolves, Rockets, Mavericks, Lakers, Spurs are better by far. Damn, the Warriors are not good. I don't care. After seeing how they struggled against the Rockets with Jalen Green, no, bruh. No. Nah, you gotta be a Warriors fan. I don't even think they made any changes this year. Besides, let's put Al Horford on the team.
Warriors.
No.
Steph Curry, surrounded by an elite defense, is maybe the most proven recipe in basketball. Now, what about Steph next to another 20-point per game scorer? Or Steph on a team that dominates?
No, Jimmy Butler is washed now. Don't even hate Jimmy Butler like that. Jimmy Butler is washed. He's not doing what he did in Miami this time. He is washed, Jimmy Butler. This is Celtic shot, Jimmy Butler.
The possession game, or the fact that across the board, this is by far the smartest team in basketball. If everything goes right, their combination of shot making and defensive versatility gives them a championship ceiling. However, I could see them running into some offensive concerns deep in the playoffs and relying on Steph to bail them out. And the bigger question is, of course, their age and durability, which is the main reason why I don't have them in tier 1. That's also what's holding back the last team in this group, the
Clippers as a finals contender. I don't see it either. Drop the Warriors down to a playoff football. They will love to be in the playoffs. They will love to be there. Drop the Clippers down to who even on the Clippers? They got Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, who else? Derrick Jones Jr. I don't know. I will put them in possible playoff push. I don't think the Clippers are better than the Timberwolves, Rockets, Mavericks.
Clippers. At full strength, I think this team is close to flawless. They played at a 58-win pace with Kawhi last year and got better in basically every way. Their roster is filled with playmaking, shot making, and offensive versatility.
Not really, they're looking good. This offense looking good. That was clean passes.
While being an elite defense across the board with at least 11 playable rotation players in the playoffs.
I hope Chris Paul gets his ring this year, though.
I have two small gripes. With Kawhi and Harden both being pretty jump shot reliant at this point, the team lacks high-end.
I forgot Harden on this team. I forgot about James Harden. Y'all know that James Harden has a son? I was today years old when I found out James Harden has a son. I don't think anybody knew that. I saw on Twitter that James Harden has a son. Like, what? James Harden? Nah.
And pressure, which makes them a bit volatile. Also, I'm not sure if they'll be able to construct elite 3-and-D
line. And it's not a newborn son that just was born either. His son is like 5 years old or 4. He had him for a while.
lineups because their best defensive players are also their weakest shooters. When it comes down to basketball being played on the court though, I think the Clippers might be the second best team in the NBA. It's just the simple fact that they're so old and so injury prone that I could just as easily see them collapsing in the first round as I could see them competing for a ring. That takes us to the top tier, the best of the best, the inner circle of contenders, and this is where I've got
The Cavs, I forgot about the Cavs, to be honest. Damn, I forgot about the Cavaliers. The only if the Cavaliers had somebody else other than Donovan Mitchell, I would say that they're contenders. But Donovan Mitchell is a fraud. Donovan Mitchell, on his years with the Utah Jazz, where he was the #1 seed, and that's fumbling every single time. I don't believe in Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is a fraud. He's like the guard version of Joel Embiid. He just can't make the conference finals. He does cursed. I like Lonzo Ball though, so I'm a Cavs fan this year. Not a Cavs fan, but I supporting y'all because of Lonzo. That was my favorite player.
the Cavs. I've got some slight concerns with their health considering their history, especially with Lonzo, so I'm tempering my expectations, but at full strength, this is just a special group. Tons of ball handlers, playmakers, and shooters. Elite interior defense with tons of lineup versatility. The backcourt defense is a bit of a weak point, but they basically check every box on both ends. And if I were forced to make a prediction, they'd be this year's championship runner-up. As for my Western Conference runner-up, that'd be
I like this. I like this. The Nuggets look like the 2023 Nuggets right now. They look so good, and I think they got back Bruce Brown. Yeah, I like the Nuggets.
the Nuggets.
I love the Nuggets team.
They were a top-tier team last year. They got more skilled, more versatile, and
Is it crazy to say that I think this Nuggets team could beat the Thunders? No, I think the Nuggets could beat the Thunder this year. Easily, like not even a 7-game series, like a 6-game. Like I think they could win in 6 or 5. Like especially after how the Thunder were like not really struggling, but they went to war against the Nuggets. That were I don't even think that Nuggets team from last year was good. They still went to war against the Thunder. Nah, Nikola Jokic is winning the championship this year, and if he doesn't win, if the Shai Alexander is gonna repeat, is either the Thunder or the Nuggets. Those are the big dogs in the league.
deeper over the summer, so it feels pretty self-explanatory. In my opinion, this is the best team of the Jokic era, and they'd be my pick for the #1 offense. However, there are still a few defensive limitations, and that's why I've got one team over them, the
And
OK.
I mean, I'm surprised how fast they became this good. Like they won 68 they won 68 games last year as a team that was like average age is 24. They got it. I think it's either the Nuggets or the Thunder that could win this year.
AC Thunder. I feel like I don't need to say much. They won 68 games in a chip. Their entire core is young, so there's room for development. They're one of the best defensive teams ever with loads of offensive.
But I'm still mad about the Pacers not winning. Like Tyrese Halliburton, that's how to wait. That's how to his knee had to wait out for 1 year. I mean 1 game. That's one more game. Tyrese Halliburton, that's how injury. That injury he could have got injured only 1 second left in the game. It had to be in the first quarter. Like, Tyrese Halliburton got robbed of a championship that year. That was if Tyrese Halliburton won. That would have been one of the most exciting championship runs since Kawhi Leonard's ring. Like, that was Tyrese Halliburton got robbed.
Talent. So barring injury, they'd be my pick to repeat for a championship. Keep in mind, these are just my opinions based on the research I've done. The beauty of a preseason prediction is that it's just that, a prediction. Who knows what trades will happen mid-season, which young players will take a leap, or who gets injured. But just to recap where I'm at, my conference finals picks would be the Thunder, Nuggets, Cavs, and Knicks. But just to recap where I'm at, my conference finals picks would be the Thunder, Nuggets, Cavs, and Knicks.
Thunder, Nuggets, Cavs, and Knicks. I like it. Or Thunder's Nuggets, Cavs, and Knicks. I like that. I agree with that.
I think the Warriors and the Clippers could compete for a championship
I disagree with the Warriors. The Warriors aren't doing nothing.
if everything.
The Warriors aren't doing nothing this year. They will be happy to make the play in. The Warriors are not good. The Warriors are not good. They were any playing last year with the same roster. All they added is Al Horford. What made you think that they're winning the championship this year?
Goes right, and the Wolves, Rockets, Mavs, and Lakers all feel like a longer shot to me.
I
After
agree.
that, we've got lots of interesting playoff, play-in, and rebuilding teams.
I don't think this list was that bad, but the Warriors, dog, I was
And all
I was holding about this list from a 9 out of 10. And actually, this is holding it back from a 10 out of 10. The Warriors are too high. I would put the Warriors at like number 11,
that's to say, I couldn't
maybe even lower. I don't think that the Warriors are better than the Timberwolves, the Rockets, the Mavericks, the Lakers. No, I think all four of those teams are better than the Warriors, especially since the Rockets already went to war with the Warriors before KD. Imagine what they could do with KD. Imagine what they could do.
possibly be more excited for the 2026 NBA season.
Well, this was a good video though. Yeah, so for the NBA season, or playing night, we have Rockets versus Thunder, and then Lakers versus Warriors. So we could really see if the Warriors are really championship contenders in that game against the Lakers. The Lakers are, and that game don't really matter, but I want to see how they're gonna play against the Lakers. I like this video. I ready for the NBA season.